everyone. So welcome to Saturn in Pisces. Now the weekly astrology, I would have touched base on this, and this is actually going to go deeper into your sun and rising signs from Aries to Pisces. I mentioned that Saturn in Pisces is a restrictive tide. It's challenging spirituality, mental health that we can't hide, rules, laws, regulations, maybe boundaries around countries. Inner peace and faith may be hard to find, but with patience and discipline, growth will bind, okay? So things are going to come to light. There's going to be around mental health and therapy, a focus on that. I did mention how Pisces doesn't really like boundaries, is about the hidden realms. So those areas will be coming to light. And Saturn brings in the discipline. So let's look into this and keep this flagged for you to be able to visit it from like 2023 now, 7th of March, until 2026. These are the themes and areas that will be significant for you. So Saturn in Pisces represents energies of responsibility, discipline, infused with the qualities of Pisces, the ones that I've mentioned: intuition, sensitivity, and compassion. Key points I would say are Saturn is the planet of responsibility, discipline, and structure. I've mentioned this a few times, but just to pull everything together. It represents the need for hard work, self-discipline, and commitment. When Saturn is in Pisces, these energies are infused with Piscean qualities of intuition, sensitivity, and compassion. Now, Pisces is the sign of the dreamer and the artist and the empath. It is a sign that is deeply connected to spirituality, intuition, the collective unconscious, and that's why I mentioned like mental health therapy. When Saturn is in Pisces, these qualities are emphasized, and there is a need to bring structure and discipline to these areas in our life. Saturn in Pisces can bring a sense of responsibility and duty to spiritual practices, artistic endeavors, intuitive abilities, and I think to a certain extent creativity, because we tap into more of our subconscious creative side as opposed to logic. It can also bring a need to take responsibility for collective, to work towards the greater good, and to be compassionate, empathic towards others. This energy can manifest as a need for boundaries in spiritual and creative practices, as well as the need for structure and organization in intuitive, empathic abilities. It can also bring a sense of discipline, commitment to artistic endeavors, and a deep sense of responsibility towards the collective. On the slightly more negative side, Saturn in Pisces can manifest as a sense of being weighed down by responsibilities and duties, as well as a tendency to become too rigid and controlling in spiritual and creative practices, or even in just going off in your own dreamland. It can also bring a sense of delusionment and disappointment in the collective, and a tendency towards cynicism or pessimism. Overall, Saturn in Pisces represents the need for structure and discipline in spiritual and creative pursuits, as well as a sense of responsibility towards the collective and deep empathy for others. That is going to be really interesting to see where in the empathy and the responsibility towards collective, how it pans out. And also knowing what Pisces rules, how is this as a collective, and Saturn, How is this going to be in terms of boundaries of countries as well? It's something that comes to my mind. It's not been raised, but it's something that comes to mind. I think there's going to be elements that are going to be, a light is going to be shed on that we didn't also expect within these next 2 years. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it is. But in tradition, that's what really it's about. Now, I'm going to go into your sun and rising signs. So check them both. And also I will check where Pisces sits, what house it sits in. And you can check Saturn as well for a complete picture. Come back and visit this video at any point in time, because then you can remember the theme that might be significant during this transit. Now for Aries sun, Aries rising, Saturn in Pisces may impact your spirituality and inner peace, as you may feel a sense of challenge or limitation in these areas. It's important to practice mindfulness and find healthy outlets for stress. Taurus, rising and sun sign, this placement may bring obstacles in your social life and group activities. You need to work harder to connect with others and feel a sense of belonging. It's important to focus on building genuine connections with people who share your values and your ideas, but mainly values. Gemini, sun or rising, Saturn in Pisces may bring challenges in your career and public image. You may need to work diligently to gain recognition or overcome obstacles in your professional life. Patience and persistence will be key for you. Cancer, this placement may impact your beliefs and higher education. You may need to put extra effort into understanding certain concepts or finding your place in the world. It's important to seek out mentors or explore new subjects to broaden your horizons. Cancer, I slipped into a bit of a deja vu there, so I would see how maybe sometimes you might feel like you need grounding. Leo, Saturn in Pisces may bring challenges in your financial and resources side of life. You may need to practice discipline to achieve your goals. It's important to focus on you creating a stable foundation for yourself. Virgo, on that day as well as it kicks in, Saturn kicks into Pisces, we've got full moon in Virgo. This placement may bring obstacles in your partnerships, relationships. You may need to put extra effort into finding common ground with others or navigating conflicts. It's important to communicate openly and set healthy boundaries. Libra, Saturn in Pisces may impact your health and your daily routine. You may need to prioritize self-care and develop healthy habits to avoid burnout. Set boundaries and avoid over-communicating, as this can lead to burnout and fatigue. Libra, you seek harmonious relationships, and over-explaining basically is what I'm trying to say. Not having your boundaries and over-committing can lead to the burnout. Scorpio, this placement may bring challenges in your creative expression and romance. You may need to work harder to find inspiration connecting with others romantically. It's important to find joy in small things and pursue hobbies and bring fulfillment. Sagittarius, Saturn in Pisces may impact your family, your home life. You may need to put extra effort into finding a sense of belonging and stability. It's important to focus on building healthy relationships with family members, creating a comfortable living environment. Capricorn, this placement may bring obstacles in your communication and social skills. You may need to put extra effort into connecting with others or expressing yourself effectively. It's important to practice active listening and empathy. Aquarius, Saturn was in your sign and it's moving from your sign to Pisces. So Saturn in Pisces for you may impact your financial life and self-worth. You may need to put extra effort into making ends meet or feeling valued. It's important to focus on developing your talents and finding ways to monetize them. Pisces, this placement may bring challenges in your sense of identity of personal growth. You may need to put extra effort into finding your place in the world, connecting to your own emotions. It's important to focus on your self-discovery and personal development during this time. Now, these themes that I mentioned doesn't mean that they're going to be negative. It means that these are the themes that might come up for you that you see at certain times are dominant. And some of the themes may be where you might feel, I'm putting the work in here, but I'm feeling it harder to achieve something. It's because of the Saturn in Pisces affecting that area. Now, like mentioned, do check where Pisces, your house is in Pisces. If you don't know, it's not a problem, but if you do, it just goes that step deeper. And where Saturn is in, that would be last, where Saturn is in your charts, what sign it's in. And but if you don't know where it is, that's also not a problem. Keep with your sun and rising sign. Do come back to check this because it will be relevant throughout the 2.5 years, kicking off from the 7th of March. If you liked this video, please do give it a like, give it a thumbs up, flag it so that you come back to it, and I'll see you in our next video. If you've not checked the weekly astrology, do check that and do check your other readings. Bye for now.